The Paul Harrell Program.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for being with us. My name is Paul Harrell. We've been doing these segments with state legislators called Impression of the Session. Here now we have State Representative Robin Lundstrum is with us. Robin, welcome back to the program. Robin, are you there? Well, yeah, I guess we'll try to get Robin back, and maybe she'll call back. But we did have her on the line. I understand we do have State Representative Robin Lundstrum is with us. Robin, welcome back to the program.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry we had some dropped call or technical difficulties. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Okay. Perfect. So we've been doing these things called the Impression of the Session, and we thought we'd invite you on. I'm glad you accepted, and feel free to take as long or be as short or brief as you want. What was your overall, generally, impression of the session?
Kind of lukewarm.
Lukewarm. Are you there? I think we've lost you again. I think we've lost Robin again. Because she's not there. Okay, now we have Robin. Okay, thank you, Robin. I'm sorry that we keep dropping your call. Is it our fault?
It's actually no, it's mine. I live in Elm Springs, and we still use tin cans and string. So I had to find a landline, and I have found one.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
The problem was mine. I'm sorry.
Your impression of the session, you said that it was lukewarm, and then we lost you. So start from there. Start from lukewarm.
Lukewarm. I thought we did some things well, vetted things and gave it the proper due, and then there were other issues that I felt like needed more time. Marijuana was a good one. I wish we had the task force in session from last time, and we could have applied it to this time. I hate kicking the can down the road on something that needs to get done. I think we do need a task force, even though I hate the word task force.
Me too.
I wish we had done that last time so we could apply this time and not push it further back. I feel like there's so much more that can be done. I'd like to see us tighten up the budget, address more highway issues without expanding the budget. So we'd actually have to do some cutting. So there's just the more you get to know it, the more the things that you see need to get done.
Yeah, well, and I would agree with a lot of your points there. We kind of, it doesn't seem like we can spend less money. It doesn't even seem like we can spend the same money from fiscal year to fiscal year. And that's disturbing to me.
I'd be willing to argue that we could spend the same.
Mm-hmm.
Even do a little bit of cutting without really harming all that much. There's so many things in the budget that probably we don't need, and there are some things flat out we do not need.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the will is out there. It's just getting it to coalesce and say, okay, we're putting our foot down. This is it.
So my fear of the task force, I know you said you don't even like the word, and I think conservative.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been burned on, these. I feel like task forces, there's predetermined outcomes and results. But let me throw all of the history and my bad experience with task forces, and let's just throw that out. Let's say, okay, we really want to accomplish something with this task force. Okay, my fear is if the mentality of those on it or the mentality of the leadership is we will not accept any option that gives the state government less money than it's getting now. I'm worried that that's not going to be real tax reform, and instead we're going to be kind of just playing a shell game. What are your thoughts?
I have those same exact fears. I don't want them to just move things around the board. I think we need to set a reasonable budget of what really are the expectations of state government. There are places for state government, and what are those expectations, and cap them. And then things that we don't need, cut it. It just like any household budget. You know what your income's going to be, and you know what your outcome's going to be. You set it. You don't just keep spending. And in Arkansas, we do have a balanced budget amendment, but even if we had all of that together, we still added things into the budget that if the money comes in, we're going to spend it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on these kind of the elephant in the room or the gorilla on top of the dome of the Capitol? Medicaid expansion. There's now talk of a special session that'll be called to deal with some of these reforms. But, we're looking at a lot of money if we're talking about 330,000 people and maybe even more on this program. And a lot of them are able to work adults who are choosing not to work. What do we do when we start having to kick in, 5% this fiscal year and then eventually 10%?
Yeah. And that is the gorilla on top of the dome of the Capitol. And the only way you make a 900-pound gorilla lose weight is cut off the bananas. We've got to, at some point, cap it. We have to shrink that program. We physically cannot manage this big of a program. It will eat us alive. And I know the governor is trying to look at, how do we cap this and how do we put demands on it, that type of thing, and I think that's great. I'm on the side of kill it, but that's not everybody's opinion. That's just one person's opinion. So I tend to swing a little bit to the right of that.
Yeah, well, I think that'd be a great idea because I think it's just. I think it's an entitlement program, and they want to say work requirements and that sort of thing, and hoping that the Trump administration will do what the Obama administration didn't do. But
right.
At some point, that you get down to this: how can the government, if somebody doesn't want to work, how does a government program make you want to work? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think the government can change somebody's willpower to want to go to work. Now they're going to say, well, we're going to incentivize, but with all of that, process, some of these requirements I'm talking about, it's like, well, if you won't be able to come back on the program for, a year, or you won't be able to come back for 18 months or something. And it just doesn't sound very conservative to me. Did we lose Robin again? Robin, are you there? Oh, wow. We lost her. Robin, can you hear me? All right, we're back now with State Representative Robin Lundstrum. We've had kind of a radio host's worst nightmare with as many drop calls as we've had. And I think it may be our equipment, Robin, but I'm not sure. Are you back with us?
I am back.
Okay. So I hear, I asked you a question, and there was a little bit of a pause, so I kind of continued asking the question. And apparently you went on and answered the question, but nobody heard it. So feel free.
That's right.
I don't even remember what I asked you, though.
I gave the best private option speech you've ever heard or hadn't heard. But moving on from private option, there's a couple of other things that were special to me for the session.
Yeah. Can you tell me about this bill, House Bill, was it 1405? And tell me what that did.
That was an unemployment bill. What it did was it rolled back. Right now in Arkansas, you have 5 months of unemployment. Off the chute, straight in, 5 months of unemployment. And we took it down to 4 months of unemployment. We don't need 5 months of paying out of unemployment right now. We have 2.9% unemployment in Northwest Arkansas, 3.9% overall for the whole state. There are jobs out there to be had, and unemployment shouldn't be competing with the job market. And that was what was happening. And then also we rolled back the unemployment tax on businesses, which was quite high. And it's basically a $50 million tax cut every year to businesses in the state of Arkansas. Wow. Yeah, that was exciting to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly, that may be that's a direct impact on the small business owners, the job creators. I mean, we can talk all day about how, people making less than $21,000, they got a tax cut. But the ones in Arkansas, in my opinion, who are really hurting, are the ones that, have to carry the load of government. Robin? This is unbelievable. Robin Lundstrum is with us. Robin, so sorry about this.
Hey, life happens.
Well, it's one of those times. So, anyway, business owners, they're tired of the government on their back. You were trying to fix that.
Yes, and we were able to roll back that tax to the tune of $50 million every year and still keep the unemployment fund solvent. Right now, it has $530 million in it, and more will be added by the end of the year. And this will still grow that fund, and but not as much as it was, and it will give those businesses a much-needed tax relief, and still keep the fund solvent, which is exactly what should be happening. And we have an excellent Department of Workforce Services, which helps people with resumes, job training, all kinds of things. There are 8 different places across the state, and people weren't accessing all those programs, which were free, until the last week or two and the last part of that 5 months of unemployment. So this will cut off 4 weeks, so people need to be accessing that help a whole lot sooner and getting back into the job force.
It certainly sounds good. I'm thrilled with what it does for small business. Can you address why Republicans were asked by the leadership so many times to increase taxes or raise fees? And what is this quest for more revenue all about?
Well, I think there seems to be a real sense, and I understand it, that we have programs we need to provide for, but at the same time, we also have programs we need to cut. I would rather see us not pass SB 140, which is the internet tax, until we cut income taxes. We cut franchise fees. For example, in the state of Arkansas, each business pays for the privilege of being in the state of Arkansas, and you have to relicense every year with the state. We charge even a small business $150 every year for the privilege of doing business in Arkansas. Just over the line in Tennessee, they charge $15. And that fee goes up from $150. It brings in $24 million. We need to reduce that. We need to go to the reduction of capital gains. We need to reduce the cost of doing business, your business taxes. And then if you want to do internet taxes, it's basically a flat sales tax, whether it's internet or local or whatever, it's a flat sales tax. That's fine. But growing the size of government, we don't need to do. We simply can't do everything for everybody, so we need to stop right here and kind of reorganize and figure out a way to not quite spend so much.
It's very well said, and those are some great ideas. State Representative Robin Lundstrum from District 87, we appreciate you being on the program, and sorry again for the technical difficulties, but we appreciate it, Robin, and great job this session.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Be safe.
Later.
Folks, that's all the time we have for this first hour. We will be back here in just a minute with